have. Every playoff, whatever measure you want to use for a player in a team sport, he has it.
Okay.
So what could he do would change what Skip Bayless thinks of him?
It's just who he is, how he's built, what makes him happy. Clearly, if you could have played another 10 years, you would have played another 10 years, but you just couldn't. It happens to every mortal who plays this game. At some point, your body betrays you.
Yeah.
Your psyche betrays you, and it just says, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It's just too hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Especially Skip, you got to run. You got to be able to run. I mean, Tom was never reliant on his legs.
No. So what stuck in my craw was, can he really walk away from 8-10? Because that's what they finished this year, 8-10.
Yeah.
Can you really walk away from pretty much getting blown off your home field by my Dallas Cowboys, a team that you had owned, a team that you were 7-0 against?
Right.
Can you say, that's my swan song game? Can you live with that going forward? Because it's not Brady-esque to do that. So that's why I thought, well, maybe he'll say, okay, I need one last hurrah somewhere, and I got to right the wrong of 8-10.
But here's the thing, okay? You say, how can he live with 8-10? What's to say he's not 5-12 next year? What's to say he's not 6?
Okay, well, you could make that case.
I think he started to look at it like that too.
But then I look back on how did he finish in the end? How did he finish? Well, you pointed out when all the chips got pushed to the middle of the table in a terrible division, nonetheless. But when the chips got pushed, and they had a home game against a very hot Carolina team with a head coach who still should be their head coach in Steve Wilks, because they had rallied back around him and they were on a late season roll on both sides of the ball, running the football especially, and playing top 10 defense over their last 6 games of the year.
Right.
What did he do to that top 10 defense? He destroyed it. He threw for 432 yards, and he hit Mike Evans with 3 home run touchdown bombs that flipped the script in that game, because they were in trouble losing that. They were down 14-0. Then they were down again, whatever it was in the third quarter, early fourth quarter, they were down 21-14.
I think this is when you know it's time. You said Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowls, but you can't remember a throw in which he made in any of those Super Bowls. Now you go back, you can remember a game. Tom Brady played all these years. There is never a game that you can remember in his career where Tom Brady did this, this, and this. This season, you can remember one game. That lets you know the greats, you don't remember a particular game because they've been great for so long. Every game seemed like it was damn near great.
Okay, but you said that he played horrible the whole year, but 432 and 3 touchdowns without an interception is pretty great to me. In a game for all the division marbles, that's something you can hang your helmet on and say, I'll hang on to that going forward.
If you want to say, okay, 17 games. If I give you the first game, they won 19-3. If I give you the game they played in Munich, they beat Seattle, they 26-21. And I give you the game against Carolina. That's 3 games in which you said Tom Brady looked like Tom Brady out of 17.
Okay, but obviously nothing worked out, as you said. I thought they were going to be really good, and the offensive line never came back together and started to get hurt with both the tackles.
Right.
So they fell to 24th in pass block win rate. Well, when you're 45 years of age and you're fairly immobile, you're going to have a hard time if you're 24th, because his needs to be top 5 in pass block win rate, and then you're going to have something because he can still throw. There's nothing wrong with his arm. There was no diminished arm talent. You saw what he did against Carolina. You saw the 3 bombs to Mike Evans. There's nothing wrong with the arm, but you have to have another second to throw those kinds of passes.
Yeah, but Skip, I mean, there are not very many offensive lines that can give you an opportunity to hitch and then double hitch and throw the ball. Normally, when you hitch once, that ball needs to come out or you're going to get chopped.
24th, you're going to lose. You're just going to lose. But a whole lot of Patrick Mahomes would have a hard time with the 24th pass block win rate. The receivers as a group this year, there was no Gronk. I thought he was going to come back. He called them. They had discussions. And he decided, no, they don't have any salary cap left for me, and I don't want to do this for free. As much as I love Tommy, I don't want to do it for free. So there was no Gronk. You had 2 rookie tight ends. You had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin coming off a knee reconstruction. They're not speed receivers.
No.
They're not. Mike can trick you and run by you, as we saw against Carolina. That's Carolina's fault. But the point is, they fell to a passing pro football receiver grade of 19th overall in receiving core grade. Well, it's not good enough. And then the run game, we're going to talk about Sean Payton here in a minute, going to your Denver Broncos, but what is his big mantra? We have to improve running the football to protect our quarterback. That's the quote from him yesterday.
Right.
Well, Brady's run game protected him zero because it was dead last in the NFL. Okay, so that's not working. And then the defense that had helped carry them to the Super Bowl victory over Patrick Mahomes, going back to, it was just terribly inconsistent. And I thought it hurt that Todd Bowles, who I still consider the best defensive coordinator in football right now, became the head coach. And what happens is it dilutes your ability to focus just on the defense. So all of a sudden you're struggling in every area. The defense can't have your back, and it went from bad to worse. But what's the big picture of it? Well, what can he? I'm trying to rationalize how he's thinking about this. In the second half against Dallas, he didn't exactly fold his tent and go home because he just kept on flinging. He threw for 255 in the second half against my Dallas Cowboys, which they were a top 5 defense, obviously. And you saw what they did at San Francisco against the kid Brock Purdy. They were pretty good. There was no 255 yards passing in the second half of that game. And then let's see if we can. Let's see what happened at the end of this game for Tom Brady, because he throws one to Mike Evans at the 2-minute warning that would have actually made the game somewhat interesting. This is to Mike Evans. And I thought, boy, it hit him right on the fingertips. Usually Mike catches that ball. I consider that by his standards a drop.
It is a drop.
Okay? So if he hangs on, that would have given Brady, just in the second half alone, 306 yards passing against Dallas. You can argue empty calories, but like they're down and out. But that would have presented an onside kick possibility for them to miraculously get back in the game. Well, he's had a few miracles that he's made in his career. Okay, so instead of that being 306 yards, then he throws, if we see the next pass, this is going to be his last completion. So this is what you're going to have to hang on to for Tom Brady. This is to Julio Jones. And I kind of love this because Julio's wide open on this play. It went for 12 yards. I love it that he completed a pass to one of the great receivers we've ever had in this game. I think that's
That'll
great.
be a trivia.
Right?
That'll be a trivia question one day.
But I do love it. It went to Julio because he recruited Julio to come help, and Julio couldn't stay healthy all year, right? Okay, then let's see the very last pass, because now it gets to 4th down. It's 4th and 6 at the 35. This is 1:12 left. And unfortunately, this is the last pass that Tom Brady threw in his career. This is it, and it's just a little high and hard for Julio, and he couldn't get his hands up to snatch it.
Right.
Okay, so that's, I'm going to presume at this point, that's the last ball Tom Brady ever threw in the National Football League. You just saw it right there. That's the one you're going to put in the time capsule. Okay, what else does he have to hang on to walk away from? Well, he has to know in his heart, okay, I did break my own record this year for attempts and completions.
Yes.
Well, it's not great because you went 8 and 10, and they're having to just throw the fire out of it because they can't run the ball at all. You can say they abandoned the run. Well, they just decided they couldn't run it. So here we go, and he completes the most balls ever completed in the history of the league.
Yes.
Trust me, he's clinging to that. Like, okay, I still have that as a last sign of respect. I did do that, and so it makes it slightly easier for him to walk away saying, well, I did break the all-time completion record.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on that because Tom Brady was never defined by numbers. Remember when Peyton Manning was putting up the Star Wars numbers, Tom Brady was winning Super Bowls, and everybody said, I'd rather have Super Bowls than the Star Wars numbers.
Okay.
Now, so we can't move the needle for Tom because he didn't win and says, well, he did complete the most passes. He did have the most pass attempts.
I got it, but I'm just talking about how does he justify in his mind not needing a straitjacket to pull him off the field? He made this choice. He said, okay, I can walk away from what? Well, trust me, he doesn't love the 8 and 10.
Right.
He did have the 432. He had a decent second half against Dallas, and he broke his own record for completion. So he's trying to justify or rationalize in his mind, at least I did that at 45.
I think he justifies in his mind, Skip, I can't do this on a consistent basis. And that's what, and I said, the thing is, as you start to age as an aging player, Skip, you can sum it up here and there. but it's the consistency. Tom Brady, Skip, we never worried about Tom Brady. We never focused on one game. Well, he did this one game. Tom Brady was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 games of consistency. 300, 350, 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. Skip, I mean, the only thing we got to hang our hats on is, if we really look at it, is one game. The 432, 3-4 touchdown games against Carolina. That is not how Tom Brady wants to be remembered. That's not how he wants to be measured.
But there are not many mortals who can throw for 432 in a game for all the marbles in the division. Trust me, even playing right now, as young as you want to go, it's hard to do that against that defense.
Yes, but Skip, here's the thing, though. What about all the 199s, the 200s that he threw for?
Okay. Well, again, terrible pass blocking, no run game, average receivers, no Gronk, no AB. It was a long, hard year, and I think it took an emotional toll on him, as did trying to go through a divorce and finalize it during the football season. And enough is enough. And again, I don't think there's any way that a team could call him next week or the next week and say, hey,
I think he's done.
We need you. I think it's over and out. I think he just told you that in what he posted. I did the big retirement speech last year, so you only get one of those. So I'm not going to do it this time, but it's over.
I think last year, Skip, he retired, but he looked at his season. I threw for 5,000 yards. I led the league in touchdown passes. Why am I walking away again? I think when he looks back now, what is he looking back saying, okay, why am I continuing to play? Looking at his play, he evaluates himself. If he's honest with himself, looking at himself this past season versus a year ago, you can understand why.
Okay, but remember, coming off last year, his peers in this league, all the younger players in this league, all younger than he, they voted him the best player, not the best quarterback, the best player in the whole league coming into his final season. Well, you got that to hang on to, right? And that's why I kept arguing last year. I don't see how he's done yet, because he's playing at too high of a level, because he was coming off a game in which they lost what I'm sure he considered a heart crusher, not heartbreaker, at home to the team that was about to go win the championship. And you did fall behind, but you roared back. You scored 24 unanswered points, right? To get it to 27 all. And they blew a defense. They blew a blitz. Half of them got blitz, half of them didn't get blitz. And they let Cooper Kupp, the Triple Crown winning receiver, run right down the middle of the field, wide open, uncovered, to catch a little pop fly pass for a walk-off field goal. Okay, so that's what killed his soul last year, and that's what drove him to say, I'm unretirement. I got to come back because I have, what was his line? Unfinished business. Well, this year it didn't work out for him to finish his business. So I hurt for Tampa because he went down there in a pandemic year and turned the Succaneers into the championship Buccaneers in his first year. Well, it forced you and I to make Tampa Bay Buccaneers games must-see TV because we had no choice. We had to watch what's Brady going to do next. Okay? So for the last 3 years, have you missed one snap of a Tampa game? I doubt it. Going forward next year, you might miss some snaps of Tampa Bay.
Everybody gonna miss some snaps.
I think so, because I don't know where they're going to turn. Are they going to go to Kyle Trask or Blaine Gabbert or what?
And they got a lot of big-ticket guys that's getting on up there in age.
Man, it kind of leaves you high and dry for the moment here. So anyway, I will miss him. I don't know that you will, but I will. And
well, we know we're going to have at least one topic a week. I mean, a day to talk about him, because good, bad, or indifferent, he's going to do something that we must talk about. Tom Brady.
And at some point down the road, obviously, we will welcome him into the Fox family in some as yet undetermined role. But that's somewhere down the road.
Skip, it's like if debate TV had been in effect with Jordan. You think there could have been a game that Jordan played that with somebody we weren't going to talk about him at least once? He's Mike. He's Tom.
That was it.
Or Brady, however you want to address it. I mean, he should go by one name. He should be either Tom or Brady, but you know who he is.
Yes, we do.
Guys, he posted that retirement video less than an hour and a half ago, and it already has over 6 million views.
Goodness.
Tom, we wish you the very best. Congratulations on an amazing career. All right, speaking of amazing career, Shannon, let's talk about your guy LeBron. Is he just getting better?